I'm Sherry Puchacz, also known as Sunshine Sherry, here in Southwest Florida with my monthly market update video. Make sure to stay tuned to the end of this video for some bonus information. So let's get started with the stats for the month of June in this area. I'm going to go through each city kind of quickly and then summarize for the second quarter versus the first quarter, and then finish up with some national statistics. Now, we're going to start with the city where I live, which is Cape Coral. As you can see, all but one indicator went up. The closed sales are down by 13%, but single family inventory is up by 120% since last year. Let's move on to Fort Myers. Again, all but the closed sales indicator went up. Here, closed sales are down by 32%, but inventory has skyrocketed up by 45%. Next is North Fort Myers. Closed sales are down by 7.5%, and active inventory is up by 49%. Wow, North Fort Myers is really hopping. However, it is not on fire like Lehigh Acres. Lehigh Acres is up, as you can see, in almost all the indicators and comes in at 16% higher than June of 2021 for closed sales. And active inventory is up by a whopping 88%. Yikes! Call the fire department. Bonita Springs is next, comes in at a close second with an increase in inventory up by 77%, but closed sales are down by 28% from a year ago for June. Wait, don't leave yet. The Punta Gorda area, just north of here, is the winner. Of course, Cape Coral really won, but for the increase in inventory, ding, 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 they are up 95% from just a year ago. And they're a very close second to North Fort Myers, with a decrease in closed sales by only 7.8%. And by the way, I just wanted to remind you that I am a local realtor here with RE/MAX, and if you're thinking about moving here, I'd love to have a conversation with you. So all my contact information is right down below in the description. Let's move on to 2022 second quarter versus the first quarter statistics. As you can see, the closed sales have gone up in all cities since the beginning of the year. Yay! The next indicator is the median sales price, which has also gone up since the first quarter. However, this year, the pace of appreciation is much slower, which is really a good thing. This is likely due to the micro decrease in buyer demand due to the increase in the interest rates. Next is active inventory, and that has also decreased, mostly due to new construction, especially here in Cape Coral. We're going to change gears just a minute by showing you this graph of how many single-family home permits have been requested per month in the last 3 years. Oh my gosh, 2022 is going to be a doozy. It's no wonder that the building department in the city of Cape Coral can't keep up with the amount of permits that are coming in. Months of inventory has also increased in the second quarter of 2022, as you can see, which really is what happens when the active inventory outpaces the closed sales. Again, it's really not a bad thing because that means that buyers have more choices. A little bit of a surprise is the next indicator, which is days on market for the second quarter. As you can see, this has decreased pretty much across the board, and I would attribute that to buyers trying to get their interest rates locked in before the rates go up again. The last indicator is really not showing much of a change, and that is the list price to sales price ratio, which has not come off 100% this year, as well as pretty much last year. This tells me that sellers are still not negotiating too much on their prices, and their prices must be pretty close to market value. Last but not least, the bonus information I mentioned at the beginning. I have some general information, like this quote from the chief economist at Realtor.com. Active inventory continued to grow, rising 21% above a year ago. In other words, we're starting to add more options, but the market needs even more before home shoppers have a selection that's roughly equivalent to the pre-pandemic housing market. As I said, the inventory in most markets has gone up, and that's due to new construction. But as you can see by this graph of the national statistics of new construction, we are still lagging in the supply department, and we can't keep up with the demand, at least not for the last 14 years. So this is a big reason why we currently have low inventory. Here is another quote from Realtor.com. Experts don't believe the market is in a bubble or that a crash is in the cards, like during the Great Recession. The nation is still suffering from a housing shortage that has reached crisis proportions at a time when many millennials are reaching the age when they start to consider home ownership. That's likely to keep prices high. Next is a graph that shows what experts feel the price appreciation will be for the next 5 years. Of course, this shows that appreciation has slowed and will continue to slow and get back to a normal amount. The slowdown in price appreciation is due in part to the increase in interest rates, which is how the normal cycle usually goes. Now, this graph shows the last 50 years, and as you can see, the rates go down and then they come back up. What happened last year, though, is a new page in the history books because the interest rates have never been that low. Now, for those of us that are baby boomers, we certainly remember the double-digit interest rates back in the 80s. So an increase to 6% or 7% is really still a pretty low interest rate. Look at this quote. The root issue of what drives house prices is almost always supply and demand. Now, interest rates affect that. And when interest rates go up, guess what? There are fewer buyers. The demand goes down, thus prices are going to soften and not be as cray-cray as they have been. And that's what we're seeing right now. And that is a quote from Dave Ramsey. He's kind of a financial guy. So, in summary, the market is really heading toward balance and a more normal state. Prices will continue to rise, but at a much slower pace. Months of inventory will grow, and days on the market will increase. And closed sales certainly are slowing, but the demand is still far above the supply. Now, all of the slides from this video are going to be in a document that I put a link to down in the description of this video. So if you are thinking about retiring in Southwest Florida, or if you're looking for a second home here in Paradise, check out my video about why Cape Coral could be the place for you. I also made this video about the pros and the cons of living in Cape Coral. Don't forget, I'm Sunshine Sherry. I'm always here to help, and I can't wait to work with you.